Hey friends, welcome to Rugged Outdoors Guide. My name is Pete, and today we're going to be reviewing a survival kit. Me and Max, we're going to do the job. It is a 14-in-1 kit. Here's the size of it. It's not very big. It's available on Amazon. It's rated number 9 on Amazon, and it costs around 50 bucks. What we're going to do today is try to find out if the items inside do they work as advertised, number 1, and whether they do or they don't. Is it worth what you're going to pay for it? Or is it just a kit full of toys that you'd be better off not even buying? All right, we're going to look into the details of that right now. Let's get going. All right, so let's take a look at what is actually inside the kit. First of all, it comes in this waterproof, shockproof container, which is reminiscent of like a camera kit. So you can actually, it's padded, so you can put a phone in it, which is really good. So that'll do the trick for just about anything you put in here. Okay, so what are the items here? We've got an emergency blanket. We have a tactical flashlight. We'll talk about these a bit later. There's a tactical pen, multi-use kind of card. We've got a compass. Wow, so it looks like it's from Captain Nemo or something like this. Really cool looking compass. We've got a fire starter and looks like a tactical bracelet of some kind. Let's see what else. Oh, this is like a cutter, a saw for probably fairly small branches, I'm guessing, but it is something. And then we've got a couple of carabiners. Looks like a multi-tool. All right, well that's kind of cool. And then looks like a user guide. Oh, and they've got a little bit of fishing line and a little lure and a hook. So let's see what they're all about. All right, so I've got my saw here, my cable saw, and I've got a branch here from a pine tree, and it's only about 1 inch in diameter. So let's see if it does in fact work. Okay, so if the angle's too much, it really binds in there, so you're gonna have to keep it more straight than anything. Now, this particular branch, now it's binding, so let's see here. Okay, so it did kind of work. So what I would say, the only thing I would say about this though, is that that particular branch that I used right here is probably something that I could have just, smacked with my foot and knocked it off, and if you have a hatchet or something, it's probably even better. That was just an example to see how fast it can go through wood. You're not going to want to do anything really big with this. I'm thinking, maybe 3 inches in diameter, if you need to 4, and just be aware that it will work better if it's at less of an extreme angle. So something like this might work more than something like this. It tends to bind a lot more as the angle gets more sharp. So arms out and kind of going back and forth, it's okay. I would say that it's okay. It's for the size of it, yeah, it'll do in a pinch. All right, so what we have in here, we got a couple of things. Here is a fishing lure, and it's a little bit awkward because it just comes with a line, so you're gonna have to get yourself a stick, and the line is not very much. It's probably, it looks like it's, maybe a couple of meters or yards, and the lure is just a soft worm and a hook. That might be good to catch, panfish, maybe, but they're going to have to be close to shore, or I don't know, somehow you're going to have to get, it's not for deep water, and so you're going to have to hide yourself really well or something, because I don't know how you're going to catch a fish with that unless there's just a whole lot of them nearby. and you might be, you know, maybe lucky to catch maybe a rock bass or something like that. Okay, so and then we have a couple of carabiners. They are okay for what they are, but they are definitely not for climbing. It even says it's not for climbing. So if you're, I guess if you're in a super duper emergency and you need them for something that'll hold your weight, I guess it's better than nothing, but you could actually be putting yourself into more danger than not by trusting them. So you got to be careful. So they're really only just for the paracord that comes in the kit. And if you need to carry something, I'm not sure how they would really relate to actual survival, but they're not bad to have, and they're worth at least a couple of bucks each, or for a pair on Amazon. I've got the blanket here. It looks like it's about, let's see, looks like it's around 4 by about 6 feet. And let's see here. Well, I mean, I think it probably does what is advertised. You're probably not going to be able to wrap your entire body from your neck to your toes or your head to your toes vertically, because it's only 4 feet around. So let's see. Yeah, so it's not really going to fit around your body that way. But you know what? For what it is, it's decent. It'll cover your core area. And I mean, it's super thin, of course. It's not something you're going to want in your regular camping kit to use on any sort of regular basis. I would keep this as it's intended for emergency cooler weather, just to keep some level of comfort. And really, there's not much else to it. Super light, definitely better than nothing at all. Let's see the next item. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the remaining tools in the kit. Okay, first thing we got here is a tactical flashlight, and it's got the SOS mode, and it's also got zoomable, the zoom feature. It's the middle of daytime right now, but I can tell you that the light is bright enough, certainly for emergency use. So not a bad little thing. You know, I would say it's definitely worth the price. Okay, so the next item is supposed to be 11-in-1 sort of multi-use card, about the size of a credit card. It's got a paracord kind of thing in there. Not really a paracord, but just a string of some kind. It's got a couple of screwdrivers. There's one up here, just a straight slot, a slightly larger straight slot over here. And it's got a can opener, a ruler. I don't know how that's going to help you for survival, but hey, nice to have. And it's got a position wrench here for different size of nuts. Again, not sure about survival, but it's sort of a multi-use kind of fun little thing. It's got some, like the can opener does work, as does the bottle opener. But again, survival, I guess if you've got cans of food with you, that'll do well. It's supposed to have, like there's a serrated edge right here, and some beveled edges that they say are this one right here. It's supposed to be a knife. Well, it's not exactly sharp, so I'm not worried about cutting my thumb. What it might be okay for, let's see, is, so yeah, it's okay for making shavings for your fire starter, right, and the ferro rod. So that is about what it is useful for. It's not really going to cut a whole lot else unless you decide to sharpen it yourself. So it's mildly useful. It's some would consider it more of a toy or a fun little gadget rather than a serious survival tool. All right, so here is a pen and a glass breaker. So the pen part of it does work. All right, there it is. You just twist it, and I have confirmed that it does work just fine. It does look cool, so that's one good thing it's got going for it. And then on this end, there is a tungsten tip on it that is, they say you can use it for certainly breaking car glass, or you can mark like rocks or whatever with some sort of, you know, SOS signals or something like that. So it is what it claims, but again, I don't know where you're going to use this, where it's going to be handy when you need it to break car glass. So anyway, use that information as you will. All right, so there is a really kind of a cool looking compass, and one thing I can tell you is that it does actually point north, so that works, and the dial is movable. And I think there's supposed to be a little bit of styling going on here that's supposed to make it look like it's, you know, from a bygone era, you know, maybe the early 1900s or something like that. You know, it's got kind of a look to it. The case itself is pretty cheap, but again, you're probably not going to, you know, put it through heck and back like it's just going to be in the case. So I would say that that's pretty decent as of now without putting it through years of hard labor. All right, so there is a ferro rod fire starter here, and it does work as advertised with the magnesium shavings and all that. So this is definitely, you know, a decent thing. It does work as it's supposed to work, as long as you get the right fodder for it, you know, the wood chips and, you know, the extra lint that you bring along with you in case of emergencies, right? All right, so one of the things that it does come with that's certainly worth it, I think, is this set of, well, pliers. It's a multi-tool, and it does have quite a few elements to it. Like, it's got, of course, the regular pliers, it's got a wire cutter, it's got a number of screwdrivers, you know, Phillips and flathead. It has a metal file over here. It also has a serrated knife edge as well as a regular knife edge here, and bottle opener, a little bit of a knife that you can shave with, but I guess that's what these knives are for. Overall, it's a decent tool. Here, let me see if I can fold it up and see what it looks like here. So I know that I've got some decent, oh yeah, by the way, it comes with its own case here, so nice and handy. You don't have to have this in the emergency kit. You can actually have this on your belt, and you know, it's probably worth it. I would have something like this hanging off my belt. You could probably buy this on its own at this quality for probably close to half of what the whole kit costs, so I would say it's not a bad deal at all. Okay, so what we have here is a bit of a tactical bracelet, I guess you'd call it that. It's made out of paracord, and it's got a fire starter ferro rod scenario here. Let's see if we can get some sparks here. Well, I got a couple of sparks. It's actually hard to use because you don't really have access to the ferro rod very well. I'm getting some sparks, but it's really nothing. Oh boy. Wow. Yeah, okay, there was a few sparks, but whatever. It's there, but you've got another ferro rod in the kit, so I don't know how useful that is. If you look at this compass, kind of useless. Look where north is, and look where it is now. Wait, look now. So it doesn't work at all, completely useless. The other thing is, this little thing right there, it's an actual whistle. Let's check this out. So that is actually quite loud, and it can be useful. The problem with this is that it goes together, like it's got, this piece is really kind of long and awkward on your wrist, but the other thing is it's hard to put on by yourself. Here, let's try this. See if I can get it done. I got this blade around my wrist here. It's yeah, you know, see what I mean? This is actually kind of hard to do. You're going to have to get like, I've done this once before, but it's not easy. Forget it. You can't even put it on by yourself. You're going to have to get a friend or, you know, your partner to do it. So overall, I would say this item right here, while the cord might potentially be useful for something, I would say overall, this is more of a gimmick than anything. It's just cool to wear around your ankle or your wrist for a while until it irritates you. And of course, it does come with a user guide. It does have some helpful information. A lot of it is just promotional stuff, but it does tell you, you know, identify the direction, make a shelter, prevent hypothermia, and then it actually kind of tells you how you're supposed to make the fire in detail. It tells you the details of the flashlight and stuff. So, I mean, it's just, again, it's another fun thing to look through. Since you have it, why not? Time for some pros and cons to this kit. Some of the pros, well, this case is probably worth, I don't know, I would say $5 to $10 anyway. Padded inside with foam, and it's great for any item that you put in it. Even if you get rid of all the items in here and don't even use it for a survival kit, the case itself has some value to it. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, though it's not like a Pelican case or anything like that. All right. Overall, the quality of the items, I guess the combination of all of them is definitely worth the price. It's not something you would take with you everywhere for every situation, but it's pretty much worth the price. So those are some of the pros, for sure. There are some cons, as you would expect, right? So some of the cons would be it doesn't come with anything medical. So there's no Band-Aids, nothing like that. So you might want to add that to it. And the other thing to be aware of, and this is not just a con for this kit, but any kit, you got to tailor your survival kit for your environment. So obviously, if you're going on an Arctic expedition somewhere in, Nunavut or the Antarctica or something like that, you're not going to really worry about a fishing line with a little rubber worm, right? So it's kind of, you just got to look at what your potential scenario is, and then, it may be worth it. Keep in mind, some of the items are not terribly useful, like the credit card multi-tool. It's just kind of a cool thing to have for even just, honestly, like a kid who's sort of interested in the culture of survival. So overall, this kit is really not for like serious, deep expedition, actual survival. Although some of the items certainly can be used for that, so it's not a useless thing to bring along with you on a potential trip. But again, it's not something you would have with like if you're seriously going to be in any position to be in any danger. You're going to want something a little more substantial than what you find in this kit. One other thing I forgot to mention is that it does weigh 1.5 pounds, so that's actually pretty good. I wouldn't complain about that. It's packed, well, I'm holding it upside down. It's packed with a lot of stuff, all right? It's in fact, after I did this review, I couldn't even get all the stuff back in there. So anyway, if that's a good thing, whatever. Take it as you will. So overall, I would say, yes, it is worth the money. If you're interested in any of the individual items in there, the compass does work. The multi-tool is worth, close to half the price. Or a third of the price of the whole kit. The fire starter works as good as any one that you can buy individually just for that purpose. And there are a few other little things that are pretty decent. The flashlight is decent. So it's not a piece of garbage. I bought this for my 15-year-old son, and he's really into sort of more the idea of the culture of survival and outdoors and that kind of thing, though he still really enjoys hanging out more at home, I think, and playing video games. So anyway, guys, I hope that has been useful for you. The information is something you can kind of glean a little bit, and you can check this out on Amazon. There are other kits about the same price and same quality, and I would, it's not a bad thing to have if you're sort of kind of in the market for something similar to this. All right, guys, give me a like. thumbs up and a subscribe if you feel so inclined. Much appreciated. And it'll help the algorithms rank us higher so we can continue making more of these videos if we make any money at all. Still don't make any money on YouTube. Don't really sell a lot of stuff. I just do these videos because I like doing them. All right, guys. Appreciate you sticking around with me. And as always, get out there, enjoy God's creation, and keep on looking up. Max, do you think this is worth it? Do you think this is worth it? Really? That's all you can think of is playing at a time like this? What about this? This, look. Yeah.